Hey Bookaholics, welcome back to another reading vlog. Today, I'm starting out the month. I'm starting out a romance. Of course I am. I have decided that it's a good time to start another of my A Fantasy Reader Tries Romance vlogs. We're going to go with dark fantasy this time, and I said in my TBR video that the way I'm going about this is I'm going to go through different types of dark, if that makes sense. So I've got Butcher and Blackbird on here first. That's probably going to be the first one that I tackle. And this one is a serial killer romance. So this one, I believe that is going to have dark content, I suppose. So it's not going to necessarily be tonally dark or like particularly gothic or anything. It's just that it's a dark subject matter because it's got serial killers in it. The synopsis for this one says, every serial killer needs a friend. Every game must have a winner. When a chance encounter sparks an unlikely bond between rival murderers Sloane and Rowan, the two find something elusive, the friendship of a like-minded pitch black soul. From small town West Virginia to upscale California, from downtown Boston to rural Texas, the two hunters collide in an annual game of blood and suffering, one that pits them against the most dangerous monsters in the country. But as their friendship develops into something more, the restless ghosts left in their wake are only a few steps behind, ready to claim more than their newfound love. Can Rowan and Sloane dig themselves out of a game of graves, or have they finally met their match? I'm very excited to give this a go. I've heard good things, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think tonally it's actually quite light. I just think, again, that it's the subject matter that's dark. So hopefully I'll enjoy that. I'll be starting that one in a little bit. The next one that I will start will be Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is kind of a standalone, kind of not. I think it's got companion novel coming out. But this one is a vampire werewolf romance. This one I'm putting in as dark atmosphere, assuming that the kind of setting is going to be dark. It's going to be that typical paranormal romance setting, and then we've got knotting in here, so we've got some of the like omega verse kinkiness as well, which I've never tried before. So this is down for dark atmosphere. And for this one, the synopsis says, a dangerous alliance between a vampire bride and an alpha werewolf becomes a love deep enough to sink your teeth into this new paranormal romance. Misery Lark, the only daughter of the most powerful vampire councilman in the Southwest, is an outcast. Again, her days of living in the anonymity among the humans are over. She has been called upon to uphold a historic peacekeeping alliance between the vampires and their mortal enemies, the Wares, and she sees little choice but to surrender herself in the exchange. Again, Wares are ruthless and unpredictable, and their alpha, Lo Morland, is no exception. Rules his pack with absolute authority, but not without justice, and unlike the Vampire Council, not without feeling. It's clear from the way he tracks Misery's every movement that he doesn't trust her. If only he knew how right he was. Because Misery has her own reasons to agree to this marriage of convenience. Reasons that have nothing to do with politics or alliances, and everything to do with the only thing she's ever cared about. And she is willing to do whatever it takes to get back what's hers, even if it means a life alone in Were territory. Alone with the wolf. Again, not expecting this to be particularly dark in terms of content, only really in terms of the settings, like the atmosphere. The next one, therefore, the one I'm expecting to be dark tonally, to have that really gothic ambience and tone and setting, the one that I think is going to have a very specific prose, I'm assuming, is Written in Blood by Silvana G. Santos. This one has comps to both Anne Rice, but also Cassandra Clare, so I am interested to see that combo. It says, vampires are coming. Ivan Lockhart cheated death for the last time. Tormented by his past, Ivan flees to the Grand Tour, but amidst the 17th century grandeur of Venetian lifestyle, he stumbles upon the old world's darkest secrets. Vampires are real, witches are real, monsters lurk in the shadows. A blood drinker longs to claim him. A witch has stolen his heart, and the love of his life plunges his soul into fathomless despair. Entangled in this web of shadows, Ivan plummets into the unknown, and the only way out of darkness might be the one to seal his doom. I am really hoping that I love this one. It sounds like it's going to be fun. We've got witches and vampires and the like, and again it's got that Anne Rice comp, but we shall see. We'll see if I get on with it. And then the last one that I have is only a novella, but it is a mafia romance. So again, I'm assuming that this one is going to be like dark content, but not in the same way as Butcher and Blackbird, more in the kind of taboo end. Potentially. It says, Constance Vicious found me at my most vulnerable, waiting for a savior to come and solve my broken life filled with abuse and no escape from my cage. Tino took me for a fool, because while I told him every one of my dirty little secrets, he kept his skeletons in the closet. He gave me a fairy tale week with no promises after that, precisely what I wanted. But then he disappeared. He left me to pick up the pieces, and soon I found out the truth. He was not the man he said he was. He was a predator, and I was his bait. So yeah, apparently this is potentially on the darker end. So we shall see if I like this one. I'm gonna just roll with it. I am a-okay DNFing. I am happy to try all of these. So let's see how I go about it. Again, starting with Butcher and Blackbird. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to you this evening with an update. Hey vlog, it's Wednesday, so I thought I would check in. I'm trying out my new tripod, so if anything goes real funky, I'm blaming it on the tripod. I got a new like little portable one so that I can take it to England with me when I go over in the summer. I am now about 50-something% of the way into Butcher and Blackbird. I was going to check in last night. I joined G over at Book Roast Sprints to kick off Aurelian Magical Readathon. I think at the end of the vlog, I'll tell you what all of these are for Aurelian. And we'll see how many subjects I can knock off out of this vlog. But I am really liking this. I'm not as maybe obsessed with it as a lot of people are, but we've got Friends to Lovers, which is a trope that I always love. So I'm having a great time with that. The serial killer element is cool as well, because these guys are both serial killers, but they are killers of killers. Like they hunt down people who hurt other people. So they enjoy killing people, but they have like a code of morality, for want of a better word. So you've got this group of serial killers that have a similar ethos. So you have Blackbird, who is one that is kind of known for slitting throats, gouging eyes. And then you have Butcher, who is more like a grab a hatchet, break some kneecaps, break some skulls kind of dude. That's been interesting. And yeah, the way that their romance is forming over this has been very cute, and I am very excited to continue. Where we left off especially was definitely somewhere where it was getting kind of hot in here, so very excited to see how that progresses. So yeah, having a good time. Not, like I said, completely obsessed, but there's still time. I'm only halfway. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into that. And I will let you know, I guess, now when I'm done with it, which is bizarre because it's only Wednesday and I have done 2 updates and I should be nearly done, which is crazy. But I've got a lot going on today. I'm doing a live show with my friend Lauren, author LL McRae. She is going to be launching the 3rd and final book in the Dragon Spirit series, which is my favourite ongoing self-pub series. So I'm very excited for that final book. I can't wait for it to come out. And therefore I am hoping to get some reading done today, but my priority is obviously going to be getting all my work done and then hopefully also going to join the live stream. So we'll see how much reading actually gets done, but very exciting day today. So it is now Thursday. It turns out this is a one a day kind of update vlog, it would seem. It's Thursday morning, so I thought I would check in. I have finished Butcher and Blackbird. I haven't started Bride yet, so I will definitely be doing another update today. I finished Butcher and Blackbird. I ended up giving it 4 stars, like it's more like a 4.5. I had such a good time with it by the end of it. It had so many of the like typical cliche tropes that just work every time, like the no one touches my girl kind of trope. Here for it. Always, forever, here for it. Him being protective while also being a serial killer is just something else. I don't know. And then her, the way that she is also protective and the way she's super encouraging, but also at the same time really pushing him, and the banter they had between them. Like, I really bought into this by the end. I had such a fun time. I really liked the exploration of morality in here, because obviously with it being such a morally grey area of if you murder murderers, does that make you a terrible person? The fact they get joy and glee from it as well is also something that is brought into question, because I feel like that's not talked about enough. A lot of the time it's only ever talked about the evil people. You watch something like Punisher and it's like, yeah, like he'll murder people that have done wrong, but at the same time it's never pitched as like because he enjoys it sort of thing. And is it wrong to enjoy hurting serial killers? Like, it's not even someone who accidentally ran over a dog. It's serial killers killers. Like they themselves get joy in hurting people, so then these characters get joy in hurting them. And it was such an interesting moral quandary, and it really makes you reevaluate your own stances on these things. So I had a good time with that, and I am glad that I read it. And the romance part was really well done. Like the tone, like I said initially, was very light. Like there's a lot of levity to it to kind of carry you through the gore. Yeah, I think it was a really well balanced book. I think it did a really good job of bringing in the serial killer grossness, but still making it feel like a romance somehow. I don't know how they did it, but it was a good time, and I am really glad that I am experimenting this year with romance if it's exposing me to things like this. So yeah, good times all round. So now I'm going to go start Bride and hopefully have an equally good, though I imagine slightly different time with Bride. I don't think it's going to be quite as fun. I think it's going to be more on the more serious end of romance, but I could be wrong. But we'll see how I fare with that. And yeah, I'll check back in later once I have read some of it and give you some thoughts.
Hey vlog, it's Friday morning, so I thought I would check in. It's still pretty early, but I'm about to head out, so I thought I'd do this update now in case I read a little bit while I'm on the go. But I am halfway through Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and I am liking this one. It has elements to it that I wasn't expecting. It's got a somewhat missing persons mystery going on with following our protagonist Misery, who has been living in the human world for a long time. She's actually a vampire, but she got sent to the human world as kind of this collateral exchange that the humans, vampires, and werewolves have. So you need like one of each clan to live in the other two clans, essentially. So she is the human collateral. So she is from the vampires to go live with the humans. And she has a friend that she grew up in foster care with, who she loves very dearly and is very close with. And then this friend has gone missing. And then her father recalls her so that she can go and live with the werewolves instead. And she's going to solidify this by marrying the leader of the werewolf pack. Their relationship is interesting. Like there is this sort of enemies to lovers thing going on. There's this distrust that you naturally get, and then that being kind of overridden by the sexual tension, and that's quite interesting. The mystery part I'm really interested in. I really do love books that center female friendship as well, and one of the things that I think I love about it in romances, kind of the similar reason that I loved the first Crescent City book, is that it's not only there because it adds, you know, another layer to the plot, but also it means that it adds more to these characters than just them being a love interest. It grounds them, it gives them more focus and more people in their lives. So many romances are about this solitary woman falling in love with a man and him becoming her everything, and that's just not the case with this. You know, her best friend is the most important person to her. He also has a sister. We just got a reveal around the sister as well, so that was quite interesting. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more about where this is going to go, and I suspect that there's more to it, especially on the vampires part, than meets the eye. But I don't feel like, again, it's not like new favorite territory, but it is a fun one, and I'm really enjoying my time reading it. I think that I could do with the romance potentially leveling up again now. I'm at the point now where I could definitely enjoy it more if it went into the next level. But I suspect that this is going to be the kind of one where they're not going to at least confess how much they love each other or whatever until the end, which is fine. But I would like there to be some kind of new oomph in the romance. So we shall see. Like I said, multiple side plots as well that I'm finding interesting. So it's got a lot going for it. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, and I will hopefully check back in. I keep saying I'll check back in later and then check in back in the next day. But it is really early today, so, you know, hopefully I will have actually had a lot more chance to read more with a decent update later. So I will check back in later.
Hey vlog, so it's Saturday. I didn't check in again yesterday like I said I would. This is going to be a one a day clip kind of vlog, apparently. But I did finish Bride. I've read all of Predator's Bait, and tonight I am hoping to start Written in Blood. So lots to talk about. Firstly, I finished Bride, like I said, and I did enjoy this one. I had a good time with it. It's like a soft 4-star. There were elements that I found became a bit predictable. It does do that thing that a lot of romances do where every single character needs to be of some kind of importance or significance. It can't just be another person existing in this world, which is fine, I guess. I don't know, in Butcher and Blackbird it made more sense to me because, like, yeah, everyone being a serial killer because they're the only people that the other serial killers would be comfortable being around kind of made sense to me in my head. But in this one, it's just like everyone needs to have some kind of like other significance, and it got a bit okay. But I did really like the romance. I did like the plot. I am glad to have read it. It's not like a new obsession, but there were lots of things going on in here that I did really enjoy, and the way that they bond together was really fun as well. So yeah, I had a really good time. I just don't feel very strongly about it. I'm hoping that Ali Hazelwood's contemporaries do it for me a bit better, which you will hear more about soon, I imagine. But yeah, so a good time, not a long time kind of vibe. And then I read Predator's Bait, and I definitely won't be continuing on with this series. I just found, I mean, don't get me wrong, I appreciate it's like a taboo romance, that's why I picked it up. But I think taboo sometimes would work for me and sometimes wouldn't, I guess. The actual sexual part being taboo, I'm kind of fine with. Like any kind of BDSM or any kind of kinks, that I'm fine with. But in this instance, where it is someone who is fleeing domestic violence, then actively seeking BDSM kinks, felt odd. I don't know. Just something about it made me kind of uncomfortable. It's only 77 pages, so it's not the end of the world. But I just don't think that it's going to be for me. And that's fine. I only finished it because it was a novella. If it had been a full-length novel, I would have DNF'd. So 2-star, I guess. I had lots of problems with it, which is my bad, you know, like going into a taboo romance, and I did look up the content warnings and stuff. But because I'm exploring what I like and don't like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. And this isn't for me, and that's fine. So now I am going to be starting Written in Blood, which is the last one for this vlog. I'm going to start it tonight and then read most of it tomorrow, I expect. And I am curious to see how I feel about this one. This is one I'm most intrigued about because it's the one that's got that kind of gothic comp, which tends to work quite well for me. So yeah, not hugely strong feelings, a good experience that I don't feel strong about, a bad experience that I don't actively despise. And that's the whole point of these vlogs, is me exploring what I do and don't like, which is fun. Hey vlog, as expected, it is Sunday, shocking no one. I have, however, gotten about halfway through Written in Blood. Now I'm going to finish this book because I am using this book for a magical readathon Aurelian prompt, and I don't foresee it being a difficult task to finish it, but I am not having a good time with this book. Alright, so a lot of the romance is incestuous. It is between Ivan and his sister Alyssa. This book was pitched to me as being gothic, and while I can see the author is trying to go with this really like moody vibe, I am just kind of feeling it's more, you know, like if you read a bridged version, like a children's version or an adjusted version of a classic to be able to get the story across, and it loses all of its essence. This book kind of feels like that. Like it could be this gothic epic, but instead it's a watered down version of it. And I don't know why I am feeling that exactly, but I am. And it's such a shame. Yeah, there's just a couple of things that are really not working for me with this book. I don't care about the characters, and their creepy incestuousness is not helping that. And then I also am finding that I don't care about the plot. Like, I couldn't even really fully tell you what the plot is because I'm not invested in it, and I'm only finishing it because I want to get that magical readathon prompt. So as it currently stands, I can't see this getting more than a 2-star. We'll see how the latter half goes. But yeah, I'll finish it, but that's about it. Yeah, that's my check-in. Hopefully I'll be able to finish it tonight, and then I'll be able to check in the morning. My niece is coming to stay with me for a couple of weeks, so that's going to be interesting for the vlogging, but I am very excited. I don't really have much other news to report in this vlog particularly, nothing very exciting, so I'll just check in when I finish this book and we can wrap this very weird vlog up. Hey vlog, here to check in for one final time because it's Monday. I have finished Written in Blood. I stayed up way too late last night to finish the last couple of chapters, but who cares? And it was not a great read. Like, the prose, I could see what it was trying to do. It just really wasn't doing, in my opinion, what it set out to do. And then I didn't like the characters. It wasn't even I didn't care about the characters. I actively didn't like them. And not in like not like Rin from the Poppy War, where it's like, I don't actually like you as a person, but I understand what you're doing and I understand why you are the way you are. Just in a, oh my god, you guys are insufferable kind of way. I didn't really think that it had that much of a plot. Not really my cup of tea. It's come out at a 2-star. So this vlog's been weird because there were 2 4-stars and 2 2-stars. At the beginning of the week, we had Butcher and Blackbird, which was the serial killer romance that I didn't know how I would feel about, and I actually had a really good time with, and it was a lot more fun. Like, I knew it was going to be fun, but it was even more fun than I thought it would be, and I definitely would continue that series. Then there was Bride by Ali Hazelwood that I had a decent enough time with, like maybe nothing to write home about, but I had a good time. It clearly had intentions on what it was doing, and while it definitely had things that felt very much like plot conveniences and contrivances, and everyone has to be a special someone, I still enjoyed it anyway. Like, it was fun, you know? And I think if this were like a series, I would have maybe enjoyed it more. Like, if some of the things were prolonged and fleshed out a bit more, I maybe would have liked it a bit more. I would probably pick up the sequel just to see how I feel about the world and the relationship that I think is going to be happening in the sequel. So, you know, not a terrible time, and lots of fun, and that's kind of what I was looking for. So, like, it came at the right time, and it's like, you know, just on that 4-star mark, and that was good. And then it went downhill from there. Like, Predator's Bait was never necessarily going to be my thing, but there were just so many things in there that, like, I hated the protagonist's voice. There were so many things that I didn't care about. I didn't care for. If it had been any longer than 77 pages, I would have left it. I don't even know what drove me to finish Written in Blood, apart from that I am using it for a magical readathon prompt. Like, that was the only reason I finished this book. And it's a 400-page book, so it's not even like, yeah, I don't know why I do this to myself. I could have just bought a scroll for magical readathon. It just wasn't for me. I wouldn't know who to recommend it to. It's a shame, really, because I was hoping I would like it, especially because it's the two that I disliked with the self-pub ones as opposed to the traditionally published ones. And I was trying and really support self-pub authors, and I don't know, I just feel a bit like let down really by it. But it's been a really fun experiment with this one, especially because it's dark fantasy, which I know can be quite divisive anyway. So it's been a very interesting time to sort of see what is going on in the dark fantasy sphere, and like what the different angles that people have of dark fantasy are. I would say that Harley LaRue falls slightly into dark fantasy, and I do enjoy that. So I know that I do like certain parts of dark fantasy, but the whole point of this vlog is for me to try and find out what exactly are my tastes in romance, because I just know that I've dipped into some things and there are some that I like, but then other books in that same vein that I dislike. For example, you have like I said, like, I like Harley LaRue, like, I like Her Soul to Take, and I like The Losers. But then, like, when I read Fisher's Lost Boys, like, it was just, there were certain elements that really didn't work for me. Like, it was okay, but there were bits that didn't work for me, but they were like a fun, compulsively readable read, but they weren't good. And then there's like Den of Vipers, which is one of the books that I most hate. So, like, you know, that there are overlapping components there that didn't work. So I don't know, I'm still trying to find out what I like, and that's what I'm doing this vlog project for. I'm just trying out different types of romances to see where I fall. So really popular ones, they were fine, but just nothing that I hadn't seen before. And I think one of the problems that I've got with romance is that I'll like latch onto an author and I'll love everything they do, but then anything in that vein I'll compare to that author and it won't be as good. For all her problems, like,
I love Sarah J Maas books. Like, I absolutely love them. They're great fun. I also get really emotionally attached. Like, I just do. They just work on my brain. And therefore, when I'm reading the likes of Fourth Wing, I'll then compare it to Sarah J Maas, and then I'll be like, oh, this isn't as good. And it's not, like, for me, it just didn't do all the things that I wanted it to do. The closest that came in that vlog was When the Moon Hatched. And even then, like, it's not new favorite material. It's not like compulsively I must own the next book. Like, I will read the next book, but it's not a need like it is with Sarah J Maas, where I absolutely hated waiting for her next book. Granted, I haven't read The Last Crescent City because I keep hearing awful things about it, but that's a whole other tangent. So then with this, it's like within dark romance, Harley LaRue is my basis on which I base my opinions. It's like, I like Harley LaRue, so something that gives me the Harley LaRue vibes I will like, and so far I haven't found one. So I just need to keep trying, really, and see what comes of it. So, interesting experiment. And if you have any recommendations for dark fantasies that you think I will like, I know that there's Haunting Adeline and the Book of Azrael were the ones that came up the most. I didn't want to go for like the most popular ones on this first attempt at dark fantasy because I wanted to see what my tastes were. I know that sounds weird, like, especially because I did popular romantasy in the last one, but I've already read quite a bit of romantasy. But for me, with this one, what I wanted was to see if I like dark fantasy or if I'm just gonna like the like really popular ones. So I will try Haunting Adeline and Book of Azrael. I will probably do a vlog for that. Let me know if that's something you would watch. But let me know if there are any others that you would recommend that I should try, because I'm really still like paddling up a creek without an oar here in the especially in the dark romance. So yeah, I think the next one of these that I have is for June potentially. I think I'm doing like queer romance books as far as I'm aware. I think they're queer SFF books if I am not mistaken. So we'll see how I do with those. So I'm just interrupting the outro of this vlog so that I can tier rank the romances that I've read so far. I think that at the end of each vlog I'm going to try and tier rank all of the books that I have read for the project. So by the end of the year, we can then see which of the books I've liked the most. We're going to go just with the order that I've got here on screen. So the first one I have on here is Predator's Bait, which is definitely going into D tier. I would have DNF'd if it was any more pages. Like, I think the fact that it was under 100 pages is the only reason I finished this one. Then you have Bride, which is like a solid 4-star. Like, I liked it, but I didn't love it. So this can go into B tier. I think that seems like a good place to put it. Like, it's not new favorite material, but I had a good time with it. I'd still recommend it. I understand why people like it. Then we have Butcher and Blackbird, which I think I'm going to put solidly into A. Like, I had a really fun time with it. It was exciting. I liked the characters. And while it's not new favorite, I am completely obsessed territory. It was a really fun time, and I definitely will continue the other books in this series. Written in Blood. Now, do I put this below or above Predator's Bait? I think I'm going to put it just one above, solely on the basis that Written in Blood is one that I actually managed to finish, and it's like a full-length novel, and I did kind of like the gothiciness. It's slightly more my speed, but it wasn't great. Then we have When the Moon Hatched. This one, is it going to go above Butcher and Blackbird? Now, I had probably more fun with Butcher and Blackbird, but I will definitely think about When the Moon Hatched for longer. So I think I'm going to put When the Moon Hatched just one above. It's same reasoning, really. Like, not new favorite, but still a really good time, and I really enjoyed it. Even though with this one, like, it's really tropey. Nothing in it is original. Like, there's not a single original thought in this book. I still had a great time with it anyway. Crimson Moth. Crimson Moth can go one above Bride. Again, very good time. It definitely grew on me as well. Like, by the end of it, I was really into it. So while it wasn't grabbing me at the beginning and I was just kind of running on curiosity alone, by the end of it I did find myself really invested and I really cared about the emotional stakes. So yeah, I'm going to put that there at the top of B tier. I'm going to put Guild
in C tier. Now, this is because even though it was well written and I enjoyed it, you can check my vlog, there were definitely some problematic elements in there that I really don't think were handled very well, and there were things that made me uncomfortable. So I do think that this is like just a personal taste thing. Like, I don't think that there is something I dislike about the book, like with Written in Blood, but obviously at the end of the day, this tier ranking is based on my taste, because the whole idea is we're trying to find a new favorite romance for me. So I'm going to put Guild in C tier, but again, solely on the personal taste basis. I don't think it's any worse written than Crimson Moth or Bride. And then Fourth Wing, I'm going to put at the bottom of C. So the thing with Fourth Wing for me is that I actively didn't like elements of it. I didn't like the writing. I enjoyed the characters well enough. I enjoyed the plot well enough. I don't think the dragons were as fleshed out as they should be. There were a lot of things that felt very convenient, which happens a lot in romance. It's really not a problem. But there was just nothing in there that I actually found particularly remarkable. So I'm gonna stick it there in C tier, and that is more like I just genuinely don't think the quality of Fourth Wing compares to Crimson Moth and Bride, unlike Guild, where I think the quality is just as good but personal taste is lower. So this is where we're at. We've got 2 in each one and nothing in S tier. So hopefully at some point we're gonna get to the point where I am gonna find an S tier. So like I said, the next one I'm doing is my Pride one in June, so hopefully we'll find one in there. So now the only thing I have left to do is tell you how these fall on Aurelium, because I forgot to do that in my outro as well. So Bride worked for demonology because the prompt is a book with a missing person, and there is a missing person. Their best friend is missing throughout at least the first decent chunk of Bride. And the only other one that I can actually use for Magical Readathon is Written in Blood for spells and incantations, which is a word from your last book title. Now, I use this as the prompt from the book I was reading when I watched the video, which was Written in the Stars by Alexandria Belfleur. So yeah, we've got those 2 for Magical Readathon. My tier ranking's done. Back to outro me.
That is it for this vlog. So let me know your thoughts on any of the books that I've read, and if they kind of align with mine, or if you feel like I've missed a point somewhere. And that is all from me for today. So thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll hopefully catch you in another one soon. Bye.